Welcome to Red Eye. It's like Fox and Friends, if we had friends. I'm here tonight with Anna David, author of the book Bought, which is kind of confident, which comes out May 19th. She's so hot, tanning beds are now called Anna David beds.
Really?
Yes, it's true.
You went to one.
Ron Geraci, author of the fabulous book The Bachelor Chronicles. If fierce commentary were pesos, he'd be worthless. Bill Schultz in New Zealand, he's considered a broom. And sitting right next to me for the whole hour is You Got It, Brian Kilmeade, co-host of Fox and Friends, and Brian and Judge. Exactly. I am. If wit and charm were jam, I'd slather him on my warm buns every morning.
Can I leave now?
Yes, you can. No, you can't. He put the Astley in Grassley. In a radio interview on Monday, Iowa Senator Charles Grassley suggested that AIG executives should turn Japanese, at least when it comes to accepting responsibility for their company's kamikaze-like collapse. Listen up, listen-uppers.
The first thing that would make me feel a little bit better towards them if they'd follow the Japanese example and come before the American people and take that deep bow and say, I'm sorry. And then either do one of two things, resign or go commit suicide.
Grassley says it's not that he wants the execs to actually kill themselves. He just wants them to accept responsibility for running the company to the ground. Does that make sense?
Well, yes, and I mean, if you think about it, it was a really empathetic thing. He was trying to find a way for them to alleviate the guilt they might feel over receiving these bonuses. Yes, I mean, it was a very practical solution to guilt.
Right.
You obviously don't have a Jewish mother, or you don't. You would understand what I was talking
We're still
about.
searching.
He used to date one.
Yeah. Bill, the Washington Post says this AIG mess could derail the Obama administration. What do you say? Defend your soulmate, you commie pinko bastard.
Wow, that last bit I feel was very unneeded, Greg.
I had to say that because the teleprompter just stopped.
Okay, gotcha.
Leno is going to have Obama on. Is that a good thing for a sitting president to go on a talk show like this?
He is, I believe, the first sitting president to go on a talk show. Yes. But, I mean, that's Obama's on Facebook. He Twitters. I mean, you're just mad he's not coming on Red Eye, I think.
He's a Twitter.
AIG to AROD. Hairless male bodybuilders rejoice. The latest issue of Details has just hit the stands. Yes. And the Metro Sexy magazine is featuring a cheesecake shot of A-Rod kissing his mirror image. And it actually gets better from there. In an interview that took place... Yes. In the interview, it took place before the steroid scandal broke. The douche-faced beefcake said of Madonna, quote, well, we're friends. She's a great ear to have, you know. Did you find those photos in detail? Now, I know you... Now, be honest, because you work with Details, I guess.
I understand.
But could you look at those pictures and give an honest appraisal? Are they...
I'm still turned
erotic?
On. I'm really turned on, and I don't want
Take
this to
it out
come
on
out.
me.
No. In all honesty, it seemed like a man staring at himself in the mirror. I'm sorry, it seems a little gay. I'm gonna say it. I just have to.
You don't even need to say a little. That is full-on homosexual.
Kissing.
The last
Could be coming out the first day of the season. That the word is, or in that book, there's explosive things that'll make this seem minuscule.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. About A-Rod, the same woman that blew the lid off the steroid story.
No way.
I wouldn't lie to you.
They put the antics in semantics. So last Friday, the Obama administration stopped calling Gitmo inmates enemy combatants and said that international law would be the basis for holding prisoners there. Attorney General Eric Holder, seen here, said, quote, as we work toward developing a new policy to govern detainees, it is essential that we operate in a manner that strengthens our national security, is consistent with our values, and is governed by law. He then flew off on a Pegasus, not seen here. Your human rights activist buddies, the people that you hang out with, still think that the administration isn't going far enough. How far do we have to bend over to satisfy these people?
I think those good friends of mine, those human rights activists that are waiting outside to celebrate St. Patrick's Day with me, you're so right, are taking this a little far. I mean, the guy is doing a lot already.
Who is?
Obama,
okay.
Bill's hero, my hero, too.
And 36 are going to Yemen. Now they called up Ireland and said, would you take some?
Why Ireland? Why not? They were for Guantanamo to begin with, as was Australia and certain other countries. Let them have them. I think get them off our backs.
What about the Falkland Islands?
The Falkland Islands?
Yeah, what's going on there?
I don't know.
As someone who has quit caffeine.
Have you?
Yeah, yeah.
Good Lord, woman.
But you quit everything.
I know, it's boring.
Yeah.
But, like, it was actually more difficult than quitting drugs, cigarettes, and alcohol.
That would be the hardest for me, and I'm on them all.
Yeah.
As we speak.
Bill,
I
what
realize that.
Andy Levy. Andy, did you know that the idiom "cat got your tongue" came from a Middle Eastern custom where liars would have their tongues cut out and fed to the king's cats? Andy, other cultures sure are strange.
Not strange, Greg. Different.
No, I prefer strange.
Different, like the terrorists. They're just different.
They are different.
No judgments, Greg.
Yeah. Back our guest, Anna David, author of the book Bought, which comes out May 19th. She's so hot you could deep fry Twinkies in her mouth. I've tried.
Good.
Yes, it would. Author Ron Geraci. He's author, again, of The Bachelor Chronicles. If charm were a hand dryer, he would blow random men in the bathroom. Because that's what they do. Brian Kilmeade, co-host of Brian and the Judge, airing weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. If intelligence were a flute, leprechauns would finger him on St. Patrick's Day.
I'm going to watch this back and be very angry. I don't even know what that means.
You'll be half in the bag by the time you're watching this.
It's March 18th. You wake up in a strange room covered in Bailey's Irish cream and handcuffed to a small man with a purple horseshoe tattoo on his lower back. Also, you're hungover. And even though this happens every St. Patrick's Day, you always come back for more. But why? And more importantly, Brian, why? Washington Post columnist John Kelly points out that, quote, hangovers are chemical. No matter what you've been drinking, Bulgarian wine, Scotch whiskey, Guinness, chemically speaking, it all comes down to ethyl alcohol. So science can explain hangovers, but apparently not very well.
No.
Hey, Anna, you don't drink anymore, but aren't hangovers an evolutionary tool? Because without hangovers, you drink yourself to death.
You might. I don't know about everybody else. I don't know. I never got hangovers. This was part of the problem, is I could have like 19 drinks and be completely fine the next day.
Really?
Or just like stay up for so many days.
Can you prove that tonight?
I was going to say, God, I wish I knew you 5 years ago.
I proved it time and time again. Before you knew me, you missed out.
No, I bet you were a hell of a party girl. You know, you should write a book about that. Brian,
the guy who didn't read my book said
Brian, your
hangovers are, all they are, it's the physical manifestation of regret. It has to occur. And I hate to say this because I'm going to end up hastily writing my will on a bar napkin one of these nights, but we need alcohol. We inherently bore ourselves if we don't drink. You know, if people who don't drink, they tend to inherently bore others. Sorry, Anna. Sorry. It's the truth.
Ron has ever hung out with me, he would never
By the
say.
way, to clarify, Geraci, that was not a napkin. That was my naked back. And I've still got the marks. I've still got the marks.
Bill, you're hungover 7 days a week, but it doesn't deter your drinking.
Well, here's the thing. You got to keep drinking, okay? If you Nicolas Cage your way to a refrigerator, pour out the vodka, and keep going, you're fine. But look, Jesus turned water into wine. He did not turn it into Mountain Dew, even though that would be radical. He turned it into wine, Greg. This is in our DNA.
Hey, Anna, what's the deal with Bought?
Well, you can't say when is your book finally coming out, Andy, because it's coming out. Mate.
I didn't say when is your book finally coming out.
You've said it to me the last 17 times I've been on this show.
Well, that's when it wasn't coming out.
It's coming out in May. It is about a journalist. It's a novel. It's about a journalist who does a story on high-class prostitution, and it's based loosely on a story I did for Details, that magazine Greg was ragging on earlier.
Wasn't ragging.
Does she get pulled into the world in a very sexy way?
See, that's a good interview. She sort of gets pulled into the world, but you've got to read the book, unlike Party Girl, where you only read the first chapter.
And I'm working on the rest.
You know, Dr. Drew Pinsky told me that book was the best book ever written on
addiction.
Addiction. And I said, you're lying. He said, no, I'm not.
Yeah, he's
Then we went out
right.
and had a couple of drinks.
But you didn't say when.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out why I was involved in that split screen.
I don't know.
It's just very weird when two other people are talking. Why should I be on the
You're so damn
It's
pretty,
those magnificent
Andy.
blue eyes.
I guess. Hey, Bill,